Alright, what's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be recapping some of the things that have been happening the last couple of days. We've had the NBA offseason has kind of started a little bit in a way. We have some people agreeing to signings, a trade, coach decisions, all this stuff. We're going to be kind of rounding up all the moves that have happened the last couple of days here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Link to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that, description down below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So the first game we're going to start with is the trade that happened yesterday, midday, just kind of randomly out of nowhere. It happened. The Thunder and Bulls. The Bulls are trading Alex Caruso to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Josh Giddey, a straight up 1-for-1 trade, things that we don't really see that much often anymore. So yeah, the Thunder get Alex Caruso, the Bulls get Josh Giddey. This is very interesting for both sides. For the Thunder, I mean, what a move to be able to bring in a guy like Alex Caruso, who has been one of the better role players in the league the last couple of years. All defensive type of player. Offensively, he's been very solid as well. He's just a really good overall basketball player, you know. And now the Thunder are able to get him. Sam Presti keeps making moves to kind of put the Thunder closer and closer to that championship contention, as they were the number 1 seed in the West last year. And now they're getting probably better. Alex Caruso in there. The defense, him and Lou Dort defensively is going to be, man, it's going to be a thing to watch, you know? And he's just going to be such a good fit in OKC. He's just one of those players that feel like you could put him on any team and he'll find a way to fit. And on OKC, especially with all the great players they have, he's going to fit right in. And it's interesting also because he'll be eligible for an extension this offseason. So, and the Thunder are looking to pay him. And the thing about the Thunder trading Josh Giddey for a couple reasons. You know, when I said it in my looking video, I talked about the Thunder, and it's been no secret for the Thunder that Josh Giddey probably was the odd man out in their core with Shea, J-Dub, Chet. Like, he was kind of the odd man out. You know, obviously Shea's a superstar. You're not going to get rid of him. J-Dub and Chet look like they're going to be all-star level players. Josh Giddey had the first 2 years of his career, looked really good. Last year, though, just didn't really look great. There's some points where he couldn't really play on the floor. In the playoffs, he kind of got played off the floor a little bit in the New Orleans series and especially in the Dallas series. Like, at one point, he lost his starting spot. Like, he just got played off the court because of spacing and the way the Thunder are built right now. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be the main ball handler. And Josh Giddey right now is not a player that really can comfortably play off the ball a whole lot right now. And when you have a guy like Shea who can give you 30 in his sleep, you want him to have every possible ability to have the ball in his hands as much as you want, basically. And you also have guys like J-Dub and Chet who are really good playing off the ball and can, you know, and then adding some spacing with Lou Dort. And then most of the time, when Isaiah Joe was out there, it looks a lot better than Josh Giddey. So at the end of the day, the fit on the court, the money as well. Of course, Thunder, Shea Alexander's up for an extension this offseason. Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren are going to be eligible for an extensions after this year. Josh Giddey's going to be eligible for a contract as well. You can't pay everybody. You cannot pay everybody. And Josh Giddey kind of was the odd man out to leave. So he goes to Chicago, now the Thunder get Alex Caruso. From the Bulls' perspective, the Bulls have been very bad organization-wise the past couple years. Their GM, their front office has made some very confusing decisions, keeping this team together, even though we kind of know that the writing on the wall is that this team is not good enough to be a playoff team, or even a team that's even eligible to be a contender or anything like that. They're nowhere close to being a contender or anything like that, you know? And then last year, there was some reports that there were offers at the trade deadline for guys like Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond, older vets that were going to be free agents, and they held on to their team. They didn't make any moves. And they ended up as a 9 seed, winning 39 games and losing in the play-in, not even making the playoffs. Then this offseason comes around, and it's like everything the last couple of days and reports were going towards, like, we're keeping this team together. There are reports that, you know, there were talks about Alex Caruso, teams contacting him about Alex Caruso, but they were like, no, we want to keep this team together. You know, Lonzo Ball's coming back next year, and, you know, we're going to just kind of keep this thing going. And then they make this trade, where they trade one of their, Alex Caruso, who's a very valuable player, that probably they could have got a lot for Caruso. Not a superstar package, but a lot of teams would want Alex Caruso, and teams would be able to give up things for Alex Caruso. You get back Josh Giddey, who is not the worst thing. I mean, he's still 21 years old. He shows some flashes of being a really good player, but there's a few things wrong with it. First of all, you didn't get back any picks from a team OKC that has 75 picks for the next 5 years. You don't get back even a second or two. No picks for the future. No, nothing. And number two, you have so many guards already. Kobe White just had a breakout season. Kobe White, honestly, is probably the brightest thing you have for the future is Kobe White right now. He's your starting point guard. Sumu had a really good year last year. Lonzo Ball is going to be back, that's also a very interesting thing. When Woj tweeted out, he said the Bulls were looking for a replacement for Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is still on the team. So does that mean that means they think they're going to trade him, or does that mean they think he's not going to be back, or he's not going to be good enough to play, or that means they think he's not going to be able to get back to that form? There's a lot of different things that can mean. You have him, like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? So we're throwing Josh Giddey and Kobe White. So Kobe White's going back to the two, where he had his worst season last year as a two. He averaged like 9 points per game in 2023 as a shooting guard. Is that what we're doing? Are we moving to the bench? Is Josh Giddey coming off the bench? Like, what are we doing here? Three, you're gonna have to pay Josh Giddey, so that means you're investing basically a lot in Josh Giddey, which I don't know if he's worth investing that much. I'm not saying he's gonna be bad, but I'm not saying he's a star level player. You know, he could be good. I don't think he's gonna be a star though. Number four, what direction are we going in? Still is the question, because this could mean two things. This could mean one, they're saying they're finally giving up and saying, you know what, maybe we should trade everybody. And getting back a guy like Josh Giddey could be a good start. We have the 11th overall pick this year. And get him, get another young player, maybe trade Zach LaVine for something decent, and let's just restart with Kobe White and just get all young. Or are they saying, no, Alex Caruso's in the last year of his contract. He might leave. So let's trade him now, get back a young guy in Josh Giddey who we're going to pay, and we just upgrade. They think of this as an upgrade from Caruso to Giddey. And they're still going to kind of go on. Like, I don't really know what's going on with the Bulls right now. I really don't. The Thunder, this is an amazing move. I mean, they're going to have to trade somebody at Josh Point. Josh Giddey was going to be the guy. So being able to trade him to get a guy like Alex Caruso, who's such a great fit for this team, is great. For Chicago, I really just don't know what's happening over there. Next piece of news that also came out yesterday. The Lakers have their new coach. J.J. Redick is going to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, this has kind of been talked about a lot for the past couple weeks. Even like since the playoffs were happening, since the conference finals, I felt like were happening. You know, that's been talked about. Then of course the Daniel Hurley news came out. That came and gone, and JJ Redick seemed like the guy. And now he's officially going to be the head coach of the Lakers, a 4-year contract. He's building out his staff right now, and yeah, it's been a lot of time for me to think about this, about Redick being in LA with the Lakers, and it's interesting. It's interesting because on the one hand, JJ Redick, obviously, we've seen his work in the media the last couple years since retiring. Even when he was still playing, he was doing the podcast and stuff like that. He's a great basketball mind. You know, he knows a lot about the game. He talks like he knows about the game, and him getting into coaching is something that I feel like you probably could have seen from the way he talks and stuff like that. I didn't expect it to be this early and right away as a head coach, but that's how it happened. You know, so on the one hand, I think he is fit to be an NBA head coach and knows a lot about the game that he could work things out. On the flip side, is the Lakers, which already, even if they weren't good, already puts a lot on, you know, the table, and a lot of expectations on being a Laker coach. Number two, you have LeBron James on your team as a coach, which by the way, you also did a podcast with, so that's interesting. So LeBron comes with a lot, and coaching LeBron means you either have to be perfect or you're getting fired in a year or two. That's just how it works. Number three, this is a Laker team that wants to win championships. It's not a Laker team that's okay with winning 42 games and being an 8 seed and just making it there just for ha. This is a team that's trying to win a championship, actively trying to win a championship. And bringing in a rookie head coach, especially a guy like JJ Redick who has no coach, not like he was an assistant coach for 5 years he has no coaching experience at all on the professional level, coming in right away and just becoming a head coach. The last time that happened with Steve Nash, we saw how that worked out. So having a guy with no experience in coaching coming in coaching not only the Lakers, coaching a LeBron-led Laker team that is trying to win championships. Rookie head coaches don't work out as much. Like the last time we got like Ty Lue, Nick Nurse did it, but like that's not something that happens that often. One year a coach comes in automatically, hey, we're champions, you know? And this Laker team is way worse than those Cavs and that Raptor team with Lue and Nurse. Like this team is still trying to get it together. And so it's a lot for JJ Redick. It is a lot. Will it work out? I don't know. I want it to work out. I like JJ Redick. I think he can be a coach. Yeah, I think he could do some good things. Is this the right situation for him though? Is the question. And I don't know if it really is. But we gotta see what happens. Very interesting. Now we'll see where we go from here. Who do they put around LeBron? Um, who do they draft? Who do they put around LeBron? How do they kind of build this team back up to be a championship team? And how does JJ Redick really fit in and kind of work with this new team with the Lakers and being a first time head coach and all that stuff? I'm very interested to see how it happens. Speaking of more coaching news, the Pistons have fired Monty Williams. It came out, I think, Wednesday or Tuesday. Um, that the Pistons are firing Monty Williams, leaving his $65 million on the table, and now they're in searching for their new head coach a week before the NBA draft because why not? Very interesting that the timing of it. You know, um, I see both sides though. One side of it, they did just bring in new ownership. Trajan Landing, who came from the Pelicans, I want to say, is their new GM, and they've changed around some, priorities in the front office and who gets to make decisions and stuff like that. So I guess their first act with being that is with Monty Williams. But on the other side, there's reports that Monty Williams is in talks with the like basketball operations people. Like he was in the conversations with those teams, and then they just fire him. And if you're gonna fire him, why do it now? A week before the NBA draft and before free agency starts, you don't have a head coach. And you had a couple months before, you had April and May, to fire him and kind of get started on this job early. So I don't really know. The timing is odd. The timing is odd. Is it the right thing? I guess so. I guess it was. Honestly, I was a believer that they were going to start with Monty Williams this year, and then halfway through, if it didn't work out, then they were going to fire him. I'd expect them to fire him before the season started because they didn't fire him when the season ended. So I was like, well, okay. But now they got to find a new coach, and there's been reports of some people that they got permission to. They got permission to interview Sean Sweeney and Michael Nori, the Dallas and Minnesota assistant, and also JB Bickerstaff got fired by the Cavaliers. Is also a guy that is being um, interviewed, and Woj reported that they're gonna get permission on some more assistant coaches. So we'll see what happens with Detroit. I'm assuming we're gonna see a new coach in there, someone that we haven't seen before be a coach, probably an assistant from somewhere else. I'll put my money on. Is this the right decision? I guess so. But the Pistons are just really a mess right now. And Monty Williams, will he be a coach again? I don't really think so. He might just be an assistant or might get a front office job. I don't know. But at this point, man, he's getting paid what, $80 million from two organizations to not coach. Hey, life isn't so bad for him, I guess. Next, we got some more free agency news. Of course, with the new CBA, which is a rule I didn't know about until a couple other days, and Brian Windhorst, I think, was the one that said it. But with the new CBA intact, teams, as soon as the finals end, teams are going to be able to negotiate contracts with their own players before free agency starts. Of course, nothing is official, but they can negotiate with their players having bird rights and stuff. And we already seen two players agree: Pascal Siakam and Malik Monk. Pascal Siakam, I think that was on Tuesday as well, agreed to a new contract. I want to get the full contract though because I don't want to, I don't want to say something that's not right. Pascal Siakam is going to be getting a new 5-year contract extension worth a lot of money. Worth a lot of money. And I mean, you could have expected this. You definitely could expect this. We all expected when Pascal got traded to the Pacers at the trade deadline that they were confident that he was going to resign over there. And it just made sense. He's a great player with the with the Pacers. He fit in really, really well with the Pacers, and I really like seeing what he did there. He was kind of a go-to guy at one point for them, and he's just a big part of this team going forward. And you got to remember also the second half of the season we saw him in Indiana. That was only he was only there for half a year. He was only there for half a year. So it's like when you get a full off season to work with him to fit more into the game plan, it's going to be great. And also, by the way, there's a 4-year, $189.5 million max contract, not 5-year. I'm sorry, 4-year, $189 million contract that he's going to sign when moratorium ends on July 6th. That's when players can officially sign their contracts. But yeah, this makes sense. Obviously, you think he's going to stay there, and I really like that the Pacers got hit right away. No time wasted. No time wasted. We're just going to come in and make the move. And also, Malik Monk, that was a very interesting one. Malik Monk signing a 4-year 78. He's going to sign a 4-year, $78 million deal to stay with the Kings. Obviously, we knew he was going to get his money. We knew someone was going to pay him. I just didn't know if it was going to be the Kings. I honestly really expected him to test free agency. I did not expect Malik to stay in Sacramento like that. But that just shows, I guess, how much he loves Sacramento, how much he wants to be in Sacktown, which I like. I like that a whole lot. I mean, this is the best basketball he's playing. Is with the Kings in the last 2 years. He's been amazing. He almost won Sixth Man of the Year last year. And I guess, yeah, he's really comfortable in Sacramento. He got the deal done right away. 4 years, 78. Shout out to Malik for doing that. And I'm interested to see if we get some more people the next couple of days before free agency starts re-signing with their teams. And we're going to end it on some more rumors and trade talk. Zach LaVine, of course, no secret that he is potentially going to be traded. He potentially was going to get traded last year at the trade deadline, but then he had surgery on his foot. And according to Casey Johnson, who works with the Bulls, and a big reporter from the Chicago Bulls, saying that the Bulls floated as many as 15 proposals centered on the two-time All-Star guard to various teams, including the Sacramento Kings, Orlando Magic, and Philadelphia 76ers. 15 trade offers. It's crazy. That just, I guess, is showing how desperate they want to trade him, which makes sense. And now seeing this came out before the Caruso trade. So now seeing the Caruso trade makes me think, are they going to blow it up? One, and number two, how bad is this Zach LaVine trade package going to be? Because at this point, Bulls don't really have any leverage at this point. Anything they're going to get back is going to be significantly less than what Zach LaVine is, an all-star level player. So they said the Magic, Kings, and 76ers. The Magic wouldn't be bad. Having a guy on the perimeter that can create more, putting him next to Paolo and Franz, that would be a nice move. Sacramento, I feel like they're a team that needs to make one more big splash, to really reach what they want to do. And I think Zach LaVine could be a guy there. De'Aaron and Zach LaVine, having a third guy to be a scorer. And then Philadelphia as well. Philadelphia probably more a backup plan, just in case they don't get Paul George or anything like that. Zach LaVine's not a bad option. You have the money for him. Another guy that can create for himself and score. Anywhere he goes, he's probably going to be a third option as a guy that can squad. I think that's a really good move for him. Being a guy that can maybe, space more because he's become an elite three-point shooter. A guy that can be, him as your third option. He's a guy that can give you 25, 30 points if you really need him to, even more. Even more than 30. So having that would be nice. But it's just, the Bulls are just in a bad state right now. And I just can't wait to see what the package is going to be for Zach LaVine if he does get traded and how bad it might look for the Chicago Bulls. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you like the content around here, consider subscribing, turn notifications to all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.